And we're live.
Oh,
Here we are.
hello, and welcome to my Whiskey Den, your favorite public access whiskey review show for craft whiskey is king. Now, normally you thought you would be seeing someone from Bluegrass Distillery here, and so did we, but they had an emergency, so we understand that life happens. So, an easy curveball is let's drink a bunch of booze and talk about it. So that's what we're doing on National Bourbon Day,
There you
and
go.
what are we starting off with, Ben? So there's no intro. I didn't have time to make an intro. So we're in it. Let's go. Let's go.
In it to win it, man. So tonight we're starting off with the Rabbit Hole Cave Hill Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey coming in at 47.5%. And this one has a mash bill of 70% corn, 10% malted wheat, 10% malted barley, and 10% honey malted barley.
Ooh. And I was gonna lean that way when you were just usually saying 10%, and it stops
Right.
at the malted barley or malted wheat. And you kept going. I'm glad you did because it does lean pretty heavily on the nose, and I was getting some good whiffs from a little ways away. Even.
Right. So,
You're doing some huffing.
I'm doing some huffing. Oh, thank everyone in the chat for stopping in. John's saying nice backdrop, Mike. He's doing a little work over there.
Yeah, he is. Getting fancy.
He is.
Just organizing.
Now when he can take us on a tour of his den, I think there's a shelf above him and the locked case
There's
around the corner.
Not a locked case, but yeah. The whole idea was to get things off of the floor and out of boxes.
Oh, good to see you, Whiskey Straight Out. Good to see you, AJ, for stopping in.
Yep.
Okay. It smells creamy, but a little flat. You know, like cream soda that's been left out for a couple hours.
Yeah, see, it reminds me of I just do coffee black, but when I get a whiff of someone who has coffee creamer, like when they first open it, it's like I get that kind of sweet creamy, and I get a little apple on it, which is kind of weird.
I get that because I think there's like a brown sugar.
I get a little bit of the apple.
Yeah, there's a light fruit note, but it's not very heavy. This is surprisingly light on the nose for what was in there.
I get a little bit of the apple. I get that cream soda note you're talking about. The brown sugar. There's a little bit of a baking spice coming in there. A touch of cinnamon, touch of allspice. And I wouldn't say it's quite grain forward, but you can smell that. To me, I get the grains coming out of there. And there's a little kiss of oak to it.
I'll agree. There's not much oak influence, but
it does.
Yep. I got another one. Buttered cinnamon toast.
Okay.
Now, as I was taking a drink when you said that, yes, that was a little influential, but then, I'm going to say after you guys take a drink, the oak kicks in way more than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like it's not overpowering, but just from the nose on it, it's surprisingly there. It comes in about last 2/3 of the way through, and it sticks around pretty well on that. Spence, we'll get back to that in a second here because it's interesting. So,
to me, it still carries a lot of youth on the nose overall. It feels like it needs more time in the barrel for what they're going for with this, but
okay, weird thing on the palate, an orange creamsicle. But then there's almost like a refreshing mint blast that I get off of it that seems to like clear everything off the palate.
Right.
There's definitely that, and that's when I feel like the oak starts coming in and the char on the back end. Like it's not heavy, but it's there. This is one of those, for me, one of those ones where the smell does not match the taste per se.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not horribly far off. It's a nice whiskey. I'm okay with it. But it doesn't. The smells and the taste don't actually correlate. So I think that's the most interesting thing.
It's got a very interesting light finish. It's like it doesn't fall off. It's like everything's muted, but it does linger a little bit. It's interesting.
A little bit creamy on the finish, but it's just, all the flavors are muted down. And so far, I'm going to hit this again, but it felt like the flavor ride kind of just dips and it's all, I don't say it's all over the place, but it just kind of meanders around in different places. It just doesn't feel like it's all together really good.
Yeah, I get what you mean. There's not great transitions.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like someone got stuck shifting gears.
Yep.
Like it's still nice, but like something happened here, and over here.
Josh Gardner dropping in on Facebook. Hey, Josh.
If this was, I don't want to sound bad, but I'll just say if it seemed more well put together to me, then I would think this would be like your good, approachable whiskey. Right. It's not too much of this, not too much of that. It's down the middle of the road. It's pretty good, but it seems like it's trying to be a little bit more than an approachable whiskey, but it's not.
Yeah,
I like it. I could drink it. I mean, I could drink some whiskey, but it's not one where like, oh man, I got to get another bottle of that Cave Hill.
Right. Not at all. And it is. Spencer's comment, the youth. I think the youthfulness from the nose to the palate is what you get in this, and to me, it's interesting in how much this contrasts with the young craft whiskeys that we've been, sampling for the last year or so that have some amazing flavor. They're really well put together. This just tastes like, to me, like a kind of like classic Kentucky bourbon in a way that just was pulled from the barrel way too soon. Overall, it just hasn't been able to come along like it needs to.
And I think I like his other part where he gets the herbally rye. Like I agree. Like with the second half and most of this to the finish, it's like an herbal or maybe even like a eucalyptus kind of rye flavor that you can get out of it. I don't get on that as much often as well,
right?
Too. But I think you're both right. If you were to give this maybe 2 more years in Kentucky, you might see something really. You're thinking 4 or 5, Mike. I saw you wince.
No, I have a hard time just because of what we've seen. I have a hard time saying, oh, it needs more years. It might not be the years that it needs. It might need to be blended differently, or it might need to have something different done to the barrel, because we've seen youth kick some major ass and have no apologies for it whatsoever. So I just have a hard time saying age is the answer.
I'm not saying age is the answer necessarily, but I'm just saying with this one, what I'm tasting, it feels like with what they may be targeting or going for, it's not quite there. But again, you've got to have good distillate going in the barrel to get a good product out, which could be an issue overall with this. And it's also the approach of what's the proof point? How did they distill this? Was this distilled to be a younger spirit coming out of the barrel, like a lot of these craft people are doing? Like say an Alan Bishop or somebody. So if that's not the goal going in, and then you still pull it young, then that's what you're getting is a young whiskey that just doesn't feel like it's got its legs to it yet.
Well, I was gonna say this one is 47.5 at least.
Yep.
I mean, like they're not super watering it down, and I don't think it reaches the heights of some of the other ones, but I don't think this is necessarily a bad drink. A bad drink.
Right.
But I'm probably not going to go get another bottle.
No.
I think that for me, the nose difference is interesting enough to see how that plays out. Because that doesn't happen a whole lot anymore, where the nose kind of is one way and you taste it and I'm getting something else. So,
and that's interesting with the herbal notes, the rye, because there's no rye in the mash bill on this one.
I'm just saying.
But I'm
Yeah.
with you. It's there. There's that minty note that you typically get with the rye on the back end, and it's
so.
okay.
Smell the empty glass.
Mm.
I've been nosing that, and that the empty glass it's got way more grain to the nose. I mean, you're making some fresh baked bread here.
Yep, I get that. That much more grain forward coming off of that.
If you're keeping up in the chat, I agree with Weddle out there. I was going to say,
There's also
does have some single barrels that are awesome, but there's some baseline stuff I've had that has not blown me away or been nearly at this to the same level. So.
Mike, let me ask if you're getting this on the empty. I'm getting an off note coming in there. It's kind of sharp in the way it hits the nose. You get that grain smell, and all of a sudden you get this kind of sharp note that's like, I just want to jerk back from the glass a little bit.
Yeah, there's something like I feel like I've said this now 4 times. I'm not trying to offend, but there's a barnyard odor. That's what I'm getting here. That it's just like, do I want to know what that is?
Right.
Like I'm getting something more along the lines of like a lemon pledge, but cleaning something that's really kind of old and dirty in there. Like,
okay, I can see that as well.
There's this bright note in it, but there's also this like earthiness to the.
But if there's that barnyard funk, then that's going to be in the fermentation, and that's something they need to clean up, unless that's just what they're going for with this. But
all right.
But I do get that lemon pledge a little bit coming off there too.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oops, sorry about that, everyone. That was.
Damn it, Patrick.
I know. that was the bell for round 2. That's right. Fucking. What do we do?
Ding,
next?
ding.
We have a plethora of things, and I'm going to be honest. Sorry, everyone. We did not do the research we typically would do. So these are just going to be tasting notes and some life notes about the distillery, maybe.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, not planned. But we got some good stuff. What should we go with next? Should we jump to a Pat Heist? Should we go Wilderness Trail? Or do you want me to wait on that?
I'd wait on the Wilderness Trail.
Should you go the Old Dominic or the Tom's Foolery?
Maybe the Old Dominic would probably be a good one.
Okay.
Because that's
a mic whisk.
Yeah. MGP sourced whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly $30 a bottle. Pretty damn decent.
But the Mashville is a little bit different than usually MGP's kind of. I don't know. 52, 44. 40.
Yeah, 52 corn, 44 rye, 4 malted barley,
So,
and it's an old brand. Old Dominic is, and they do have a distillery that they are
currently working.
getting up and going.
Man, this thing's slow.
Here's what I like about it. I don't care. MGP, whatever. It's got a nice hefty bottle, which feels good. It was like $30. It's decent. It's 100 proof. There's a lot there going for it.
Oh,
all right, there, Patrick.
I wish I could turn mic up. Oh, turn the mic up. Oh, I thought it was just Mike's mic. Hold on here. We can do that. I'll turn up the gains. I had it pointing away. I just didn't want to have too much going on there.
There were some other noises going on when
There was some
Patrick
other
first got on.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on. I didn't want everyone to.
Don't know if he wants us to talk about that.
I hope not.
Did not involve a GIMP this time.
No.
But if Forrest Gump was there, he would have been making that noise, and the principal would have said, "Man, your mama sure wants you to go to school."
And I got in.
With honors.
With honors.
Yeah.
Late night sessions. But that happens with everyone. All right, here. You have the bottle. What's up with the hulling station? The VSB bourbon.
Well, as we know, very small batch is a very important thing to have on your label. I don't know how much of a very small batch you can say, unless that's when as they're blending it. But this is
Right.
the old Dominic brand. I think is like 150 years old. They got back into doing this in Tennessee, and of course, like a lot of people, they're sourcing. But what I like is that they're not sourcing it and then charging you $55 for their source whiskey. This is like $30, and say $30, it's 100 proof. You're ticking a lot of boxes there for a daily drinker.
Well, I would agree.
And that to me contrasts with, go back to the rabbit hole real quick, the price point on this one compared to that holding station, and it's which I think it's in the upper 50s.
Yeah.
Good to see Eli. Thanks for stopping in. This one is much stronger on the nose.
Yeah.
Like it's coming at me much more aggressive. Maybe I've just been kind of not drinking as much lately, so.
It's just got that cherry bourbon nose to it. It's not anything mind blowing, but I think it's nice. It's just a nice little bourbon. We got cherry, and I get the rye, and good blast of leather, and then tobacco on the back end of the nose.
It's just solid MGP. I mean, that's what it is. And at that price point, yeah.
For those of you who are sensitive to some flavors, it does not fly down the same path that they're describing. Blech, right now, holy God.
Are you?
I'm having a fucking problem. Hold on. Like it's just too much of like this. Buttercream caramel, Werther's original, and then it starts to get like a black licorice flavor, and that's just not my gig. Oh, it sticks around.
You don't like black licorice?
Nope. The finish comes, it kind of wears off, but man, that's there for a little bit. I like the first third and maybe like the last eighth. There's too much of that in the middle for me. Everyone might as well listen to these two talk about it, because it's not fair.
It's like Ben. It's MGP bourbon, and
right.
and in the lineup we do have the difference between one, which I would assume this is not single barrel, but I know that they do have barrel strength releases of these, versus doing more, we'll call them honey barrels of MGP, that's another one coming down there. So, and there's Miss Heather Manley. Hello, Heather.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's good to see you. I'm working that out with the store. I don't know. She's got some stuff coming out. If you are in Minneapolis, the Lost Lake release has just come out. So if you're out there, get a chance, go out there and pick it up. I've already gotten a couple bottles, so I don't care what happens to the rest of it now. So you guys can clean it out. But that was one when I had it earlier this year. I know it went into the kind of towards the whiskey of the year category, set aside for stuff coming up once you have it. So.
Yeah, that was pretty stinking good whiskey.
Yep. Absolutely. So this one, in pulling off your description there, Patrick, on this one, if I'm looking at like an equalizer on a guitar amp or something, to me, it's got the mids are cranked up on this. So that's where that rye comes in, and you get that rye kick. I mean, it's like a big bump on the palate there. I like it. I enjoy it. I know it's not your thing, but
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I said you. That's why you're here, because you two need
Yeah.
to speak for things like this. Because otherwise, there'd be like reviews or people watching. And I was like, oh no.
But again, here going into it, it's $30 for 100 proof
Right.
bourbon.
No, it's not. It's not bad. I'm just saying it's just not.
Put it in that category for that, and your expectations should go up a little bit.
Yeah.
Throw it in a cocktail.
It shifts. In a cocktail, actually, I can see this in a few things that would actually be pretty good.
Not in a Heather Manley cocktail, because for that you want to use other Crooked Water spirits, and not in a Dina Ewald's cocktail, because she would make her own whiskey.
Yep.
Yeah.
This would be great in a Manhattan. I think that big rye bump that you get in the middle palate on this would stand out really good in a Manhattan.
It does. I have had it in Manhattan. I would say it's just fine in a Manhattan. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't put it over the edge. It doesn't make the Manhattan the greatest Manhattan. It's just it's solid. And like I said, $30 for 100 proof. You can.
Yep.
You don't feel like, hey man, watch the pour.
No problem if your buddy grabs this one and walks off with it.
Oh no, and and I think that they would, because this bottle, it's like a really nice rocks glass. It feels really good in your hand. It's got some heft to it, and I think the bottle alone would make someone think, "Oh man, this must be pretty good stuff." But it is substantial. Yeah, speaking of Manhattans, I had not done this in months, and I pre-made some Manhattans and put them in the fridge because I got invited over somewhere. It's like, I'm going to do that because I haven't done it in a long time, and I don't know why I haven't done that for a while, because they're so much better.
Yeah.
they're so much better.
Do some barrel aging with those, Mike.
I know, and I got now that I've got to get my barrels emptied again. I refilled them to recreate redo Starka, since I had my Starka incident. So we won't talk about that.
There's nothing wrong with that. What do we want to go to next?
I don't know, but Mitch has a fun comment there.
Is my thing not caught up, or is it behind there? Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's funny. Hold on. All right, you guys pick. I'll be back in 1 second.
All
right. Should we move up the MGP ladder and do Smoke Wagon?
Smoke Wagon, sure.
Yeah,
because that's got a nice rye kick, but it comes in a really different way, in my opinion. I mean, it's a high rye mash bill on that one, and this is so we're going Smoke Wagon, which catching a lot of. That was a hefty pour.
Yeah.
I'll say it's caught a lot of fire. I mean, it's become a really popular whiskey. So usually when these things hit at Sealbox or somewhere, they're sold out really fast.
Yeah.
But it's got. I've just got the simple small batch, but it's got some fantastic flavor.
Yeah, I think that the hype is both warranted and unwarranted.
Right.
I think it's another example of some people not knowing what they're doing and pushing it. Yeah. I do believe he definitely has done a really good job of picking some barrels, especially when you get into uncut, unfiltered is really good.
Hey, Kevin,
the standard low end is pretty good.
What do we do?
Kevin, you missed your favorite distillery, buddy. We started with that one, man.
Yeah.
So Kevin's a huge Rabbit Hole fan.
We could bring him on. He could talk about his love for Rabbit Hole in a minute here.
Yes.
What did we go to next? Where are we?
Doing the Smoke Wagon.
Smoke Wagon? Yeah. Good. You know what, Kevin? There's probably going to be one more you can pitch with us about.
The Smoke Wagon small batch, 100 proof.
Okay. So Kevin's upset. Is this from MGP as well?
Yes.
All right, then. We're just going to have Andrew back on if this is.
I think we just so happen to have two MGPs.
That's fair. There's a lot out there that is MGP. But Smoke Wagon
and I don't know how long they're sitting in Nevada once they get them.
Right.
I know they're bringing it there, and but this has a much more elegant nose compared to the old Dominic. I would assume because it's MGP and bourbon that it is probably the same mash bill.
And also for me it hits a lot darker and a lot richer overall.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
It's definitely not as there's not as many spikes in it on the nose.
A little bit of a cola note, a little bit of a sassafras coming in there.
Yeah, I definitely get sassafras.
No fruit fly. You cannot have my whiskey. 'Tis the season.
Need to whip out the bug assault.
There you go.
Do you have one of those bug zappers?
No, the bug assault that shoots salt.
Oh, that's really.
Yeah, that do some damage.
I get a nice kind of like leather note to this one, actually. On the edge of like and I know people are gonna bitch because I don't know if enough tobacco, but a little bit of like a tobacco-y note on it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit of dark fruit. A plum, maybe.
Yeah, Mitch, I agree with you that their standard offering, the lower end clear bottle, that's pretty darn good. That's another one. It's what, 30 some bucks a bottle.
Right.
It's it's pretty good for some picked barrels from MGP. You know, they're certainly trying to fit their profile and trying to keep the wave going of the years of I mean, who knows? It's not like they have an inside line. They're just really good about picking the barrels that are going to be going to Nevada.
This is definitely, even on the palate, this is way softer. The transitions are much smoother. Not overpowering barrel on the finish, though I still feel like it probably is a char 3. Just from some of the notes I'm getting on there. If this is the same mash bill, I obviously know barrel to barrel can be different, but that's dramatically different. I feel like they have to be aging a little bit of time there in my mind.
But it could be their choices too. I mean, I've never been on an MGP pick, but I know there's a difference between saying I need 30 barrels and being able to go pick your stuff. And I think Smoke Wagon has had a history of being able to pick things, which is why they've ended up with what they've had.
There's a lot of for me, there's a lot of brown sugar and cola syrup that comes in this one that kind of just helps round everything out, pulls all the notes together, gives it that kind of sweet softness, like what Patrick's talking about there.
I really get that cola on the end.
Yeah.
And that could be true, Spencer. That's the problem with doing a show with not too much time is framed beforehand. So you know what? We'll give you the benefit. We're going to listen to Spencer.
Yeah. Hour and 45 minutes ago, the lineup was chosen.
Right. So I do know this.
And it was put up as an option. Do we
this
all
bottle,
have this?
This bottle is almost gone here. This has been a favorite of mine for making some cocktails, an old fashioned or Manhattan, Sazerac, something like that. It's I do love their bottle design. I think it's really.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, I think a lot of people talk about it.
It's a nice bottle.
I want people to see it. It's a really nice kind of design to it. It has texturing.
Yep, texture.
Yeah,
ribbed for your pleasure, Rambler.
I'm going to be
honest. I fell in the shower.
That name is changing coming up. I can't just have that anymore.
Be the Scrambler.
All right, here. I'm going to get into the taste.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm still getting some of those other notes, but they're way toned down compared to the old Dominic afterwards.
Right.
Pretty friendly for what it is, to be honest.
It is.
I mean,
and it disappears right away.
That's what I was going to say.
When it comes up on sale, it's gone.
I thought you meant like the finish, because I didn't think the finish was really heavy.
No.
It was pretty light and faded away kind of midway through the finish, I thought. Ooh. Man, I'm having sorry. The last couple reviews might be a little antsy. I might have poured a really heavy one or two here already. Hey, it's been a long week, so I didn't realize. And everyone out there, I have a heavy hand.
It's been a long week. It's Monday.
Hey,
but I feel that. Totally.
I stand by my fucking statement. Hands up, anyone out there else. It's been a long week already. So, all right.
Yes.
Nah. What was the price tag on that? Since we were talking price tags, like 30.
It might have been pushing 40.
40. It's 50%.
Upper 30s to
ABV.
40, somewhere in there.
Okay, well that's not bad for a 50%. I
Nope.
mean, in any event, and that's pretty damn nice.
Yep.
Where are we going next? We have some Sam Houston, Wilderness Trail, Tom's Foolery, or some Foregate.
Let's do Sam Houston and get it out of the way.
Sam Houston, the Missouri Barrel.
The Missouri Barrel.
Dang it.
Or Missouri, if you didn't finish the 6th grade.
I'm going to have to go grab that one. I'll be right back.
Is that in Kansas?
It's in Kansas and Missouri at the same time.
Sorry, I'm just never going to be able to not do that.
Yes.
Hey, Oscar, good to see you. Oh, hey, Robert, nice to see you in the chat. How are you doing this evening?
And these are the ones that the state releases that they did of these. I've gotten to try a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on one hand, it would have been really cool to have it be consistent, and have them all be so the same instead of. I've tasted a pretty good range over the ones. This one is well, we'll wait till you taste it.
All right. And the best part is Ben can't find it. Oh,
Well, he should be able to find it.
I hope so. It's probably in his other stash. He's got bottles hidden all over his house.
But for the age horse, it's got a big number on it.
What?
So that's important.
Oh, 14. Yeah, big old 14. I think we'd all, if we didn't do a show as an excuse, we might seem like alcoholics for how much booze is in the house. Now, that's not a lot compared to other people, but I'm just saying.
So for the stat horse, this is bottle 457 of 462, Missouri batch 01. Batch size was 3 barrels. Barreled April of 2006. Number 4 char. Mash bill 74 corn, 18 rye, 8 malted barley. Distilled and aged in Bardstown. So take a stab where it came from.
Sorry, I was going to say Mitch had a good one too going down. Ben, you're unmuted. Get off mute. There you go. It's not. It does kind of look like a stethoscope.
Those are retrieval ropes, Mitch.
All right. Oh yeah, some people are partying this weekend. We'll do it again sometime. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to go to a Packer game out there? Just need to let me know. We need to put something together.
I get like a great bubblegum note going right in on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to have some water because I feel like I might be misjudging this.
So I get orange peel and honey.
Okay.
And dried fruits. I'm going by and also looking at my old notes when I first did this because this sucker's almost gone.
Orange peel, lemon, honey. I get that, but it's also at the point like there's like a sharp lemony note, like not lemon, but almost like there's like a little ethanol note in there in the back, or like almost a really like high pitched like citrus note to the point where it kind of gets in your nose a bit.
Kevin,
Okay.
the Sam Houston 14.
So I get the lemon that you're talking about on this, but for me, it's like you got macerated grapes with some lemon squirted over. I still get that. I'm getting that grape note, that sweet grape note coming in. But, that's me.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm losing. Maybe I'm getting the COVID at the end of everything here, but I'm just saying this isn't a very moving smell. Like it's not bad. It's
dense.
It's
Mm-hmm.
dense, but for me, it's also not as. It doesn't feel horribly complex. It feels like
Right.
a richer Blanton's. I'm sorry.
That's blasphemy. There's nothing richer than Blanton's. You apologize to the horses.
Maybe it's just
And the whores.
fine. I'll drink.
The Blanton's whores out there.
You. But it's just. I mean, like it is dense. It is rich, but it doesn't seem like it's coming with like. What's the price point on this? Since we're playing that game, what are we talking? Like $100, $150 if it's a 14?
No. When I had picked this up, I found it on it as a deal for $90. And then it went up quite a bit higher. There's this and the Calumet, which were the twins,
Right.
both from the same distillery.
I will say
different.
My experience so far sampling this one, I do like the Calumet better. I think there's a little more going on between those. We'll have to A/B those at some point.
Yeah.
But on the palate on this one, I feel like I just licked a oak board basically, and that's all I'm getting is just straight wood and very little else.
It's very oaky.
Hey, Wheels, good to see you. It is oak heavy. Especially like halfway through that starts taking over. You get some other flavors in the front, but then it really does turn.
It's a little bit of a mint cream coming in on the back end of it, but yeah, it's to me it's all oak.
I'd throw a little bit of caramel on the finish where you said mint cream, like a little bit of like a caramel in there as well too. But you know what? I don't, as far as like oaky, like wood heavier whiskeys, I don't mind this.
Right.
I actually kind of like this. I know, and we've been more grain forward and everything, but so far I don't. I'm kind of liking the little bit more of a dense wood flavor in this one.
I think at this price point though, and just depending on what's available where you're at, obviously I'd much rather have a Knob Creek, like a 9-year or a single barrel,
Store pick.
Pick. If you're going for the big oak flavors that come in, that to me is just so much better done and it offers so much more. And, going Tater, if it's available and you can find it in that price range, a Stag Junior, I would definitely take over this.
I feel it's lacking in the mid palate and the tongue.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's almost a dead space of flavor.
Well, that density that you get on the nose, it carries over to the palate as well. It's just it's hard to pick much out of it because the flavors come in just really tightly packed and dense on there.
I was disappointed in the finish when I first got it, and I was hoping that it would change as it opened up, but the finish never got better. And I'm speculating that this stuff came out of Barton, which
that's
if
a
I
pretty
was gonna,
solid speculation. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no proof, but I mean, But I would honestly, I'd rather spend the money on a 1792 full proof.
Mm-hmm.
If I was going down that road, or a knob. I mean, you almost can't go wrong with a knob store pick. I'm a big fan of those. I love those.
Yeah.
They're great. They're steel.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's that missing little section of flavor on it for me. That it's in there, but the whole middle part of my tongue just feels like it's getting glazed over. It's like
I like how you're pointing to that part of your tongue.
I had to stop. I don't know.
Show us on your tongue where it's hitting you. There.
That's missing right there. It's missing.
Dr. Rambler. Bring out the tongue suppressor.
Mm-hmm.
And the ball gag.
Oh, no, definitely not that.
That's in the trunk.
Oh, hey. You know what?
All right.
Hold on here. That's a good point. George T. Stagg over Barrel Elijah Craig or E.H. Taylor. Or whatever.
Yeah, I think I go the Stagg Jr. over the E.H. Taylor. At least the experiences I've had with E.H. Taylor barrel proof. Yeah.
I think E.H. Taylor has a nice, like, what is it, just standard small batch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind that, but when they get to some of the other ones, they get kind of off crazy in price. But at least Stagg Jr., you're usually, in what I typically see for is like 70 or less, somewhere in that ballpark. You know, sometimes you can get up to the hundreds, but a lot of times it's in the 70 or less. And for that price, it's a pretty good choice. Ooh. All right. I'm going to put that one down.
All right.
Yes, the windowless van.
That's right.
All right. Wilderness
Free candy,
Trail.
kids. Free candy.
That's right.
We did this one already. Good. Hey, sorry.
Yeah, we've only got like 3 more to go.
That's fine. Yeah. We're doing pretty good for an hour.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we're doing pretty good for an hour.
You want to do Tom's Foolery?
Sure. Remember to drink your water, kids. It helps you.
That's right. Hydrate.
Ugh.
Or don't pour like you're on death row.
What's the fun in that? It's National Bourbon Day. I want to.
It's National Bourbon Day, but
live to see another day, people.
That's right. Moderation.
Now, this is a complete
here I am,
departure.
the devil on your shoulder, saying, "Enjoy yourself today, folks. You might not see tomorrow." So
yeah, you're the little devil from Animal House.
Hell yes, Adam. I mean, Alan.
Jeff, whatever your name is.
Is his name Steve?
Bob. Randy.
Jim Joe Bob.
Okay.
Yeah. So the nose on this ought to bring you back to
what's the deal on this?
So Tom's Foolery, which
is a whole departure, man.
Yes, I'm going to get a hold of these guys or try to get a hold of them again. But Tom's Foolery, which is in Ohio, this is the bonded bourbon. It is my understanding, it is pot distilled, that they have the old Michter stills at Tom's Foolery. I've had the bonded bourbon, I've had their bonded rye, and the normal rye, and all of them are like sweet pot distilled craft whiskey.
Sweet pot distilled.
Damn it, Alan Bishop.
Oh, what? There's something wrong with me because I'm getting like a soapy note on this. Like, I don't know. Hold on. This is gonna take me a second.
Yeah, no, this has got that great pot distilled craft nose to it.
Yeah.
It's getting us back into our wheelhouse here.
It's a massive contrast from that Sam Houston.
Huge.
It's almost like it's breaking through my nose. Like the last one was so dense, this one took a little bit to get through, but
This has
Yeah, I
got a
get
little
the
bit of that
pot
wood
still.
varnish.
I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it's
That
the
waxiness.
the waxiness. It's probably what I'm getting on top of this right now.
They've got some aside from being a cool looking bottle, it's got a lot of good information on there. But I was trying to see if it had anything about their mash bill on here. It does not, other than saying it is Ohio straight bourbon whiskey, bottled in bond, plant 1, warehouse 1, bottle line number 1 in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. And I believe Chagrin Falls, Ohio is also the home of Bill Watterson, creator of Calvin and Hobbes. So if I'm right, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Was that
Trivia
on the
with
word?
not,
Mike.
I was like, was that on the
cares?
word a day calendar or some
Right.
shit? That thing just rattled off. I love it. Good
So
evening, Donald Rance. It's good to see
Calvin
you.
and Hobbes fan.
Trivia with Mike Knight.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Useless
that
facts
I've
with
got
Uncle
a second
Dipshit.
here. Okay, now that maybe it was just coming off the last one that was just such a drastic change that it like might have blew in my senses for a second there.
All right,
Oh,
maybe
did you see Alan's comment about the stills?
No, but I can find
Which
it.
that's equally awesome.
All right.
Okay. Now this is after a couple minutes. It's starting to free up for me. It's definitely not as strong as it was.
Maybe you're messing with my head, Patrick, but on my first sip here, the note, it does have a soapy note to it. For me,
I'll get into that. It was just such a strong thing right away for me. It took a while to get past it, but no,
I didn't get it
Now
on
you
the
got me
nose, but on the
afraid.
palate.
It's like a soapy, waxy,
Mm-hmm.
and not even to the point where, well, now it is to the wax where you got like those little flavors of like fruit punch or something inside the little bottles that had wax in them. Like you'd bite off the top and it would have like orange or fruit punch or some shit in it. And you could chew them waxy. Like that's what I got on it, man. Like I don't know, man. This is weird. Like I thought these were all going to be ones that were going to be kind of a little more standard, and these are, I don't know.
We're going for a ride. Hey, you're the one pick from these, so we chose all of them. Hey, why not?
So this has, for me, it's got a bitter orange note, almost like bergamot. If you're familiar with that at all, that's a big note I'm pulling off of this right now.
It almost tastes like it has bitters in it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just the whole flavor profiling is heavy on the bitter side.
Hell, I would think this was part of like something to make an old fashioned, just the way it is right now.
I'd have to try that.
Actually, yeah, this might be really good in an old fashioned. Do a little half shot with the rest of whatever you're doing.
Yeah,
and
I'm trying to get a hold of
pull back on the
more of the rye,
but
it does have a lot of the rye in now that it's starting to like layer on and the finish. Hold
on. Kevin wants to know what distillery logo would Calvin be peeing on. I don't even think we have to. I don't think we have to discuss that, Kevin.
Oh yeah. There's a vote.
Have not tried their apple brandy, Alan, only because I've got someone who's gone back and forth to Ohio, and they're the ones who've been bringing me this and the rye, and I have not gotten the apple brandy yet.
It's too much. It's too much. Too much anise black licorice.
There's got to be like a black licorice fly strip over at that house hanging above your head or something.
Right.
You've brought up black licorice a couple of times.
And mint, there's like a spearmint in it. It comes off of it. That's nice, but yeah, I don't know. It does.
I'm not getting licorice or anise or anise or whatever on this. It's bitter orange all the way.
But I get the bitter orange because I almost thought it was like a burnt orange, but it
Right.
is. It has unique flavors in it. I think this is something I could easily find place for cocktails with this.
Right.
Like I taste this, and that seems more like its home place for me is in cocktails than by itself. I feel like Mike's mad at me. He's just sitting
No,
there,
I'm reading the chat and I'm listening to you talk.
I don't know if it's homegrown. I have no idea. And it is not my safe word.
Pat doesn't have a safe word.
You getting one of those know me no things. All right, I think these last two should pick it up a notch from what I'm hoping. Hey John, thanks for stopping in. We always appreciate you doing that.
Yeah,
I will be right back. I gotta go grab another 2 glasses. Apparently, hold on.
All right. So, Wilderness Trail, Mike.
Yeah.
That 4 gate's coming in a lot higher proof, so I think that's probably going to be the better one to finish on. We should both get up and walk away before he gets back.
Log off.
Right. Just walked off.
I should do it.
All right.
You give them a little bit of power, and they gotta go fuck with you.
We love you, Patrick.
That's how that works.
That's all right. We'll go over the line. All right. What are we doing?
Happy
here?
National Bourbon Day, folks.
That's right.
From the assholes at my whiskey den.
Only some of you deserve
So-
the finger.
Which finger?
Tape that finger and shove it.
So this is a Wilderness Trail single barrel pick. I tried this when our last Audible night when they did hanging with Kevin, but I was very out of sorts when I had that one. So I had things in my system that were not supposed to be there, and they were still in my system, and they were messing with me hard. So fill in the blanks. However you- Yeah, just go ahead and fill in the blanks. It's all the information you're going to get. So anyway, this is a Wilderness Trail single barrel pick, 57.5%. It is a seal box pick, 5-year-old. Calvin Cooperage, number 4 char. Yeast strain, Firm Pro, number 1. Sweet mash.
Single barrel though. 57.
This is single barrel, and this is from, I believe, I think because Kevin knew a lot more about Wilderness Trail than I did, and I think based on this is one of the older ones from when they were before they got new stills. So there's no excuse for Kevin. Kevin doesn't need excuses. Kevin's Kevin. Anyone's got a problem with Kevin, you see us.
That's right.
All right.
Or Higgins will sick the dogs on you. Don't
That's
mess
right.
with Tom Selleck.
Sorry. I had an image of Tom Selleck being at Higgins being at Kevin's house, sticking the dogs on you at Bushwood.
Hollow and
Estates.
Zeus.
You know that could happen at Bushwood.
It could, amongst many other things.
Okay. Now, these guys have taken like a huge couple steps up most recently. I think they went from craft to being in the big boy ring. To be honest,
Right.
Just recently, and not many people have done that. A lot of people get to that edge and go go a little bit into it, but not jump too far. And if I forget the stats on it, but I remember they jump both feet in as far as upping the production level.
Okay.
It's very friendly.
It's friendly. It's got a little bit of a brightness to it.
Mm-hmm. Compared to the other ones, but it's not like, it doesn't seem sharp.
No, it doesn't come across as 57.5% on the nose.
Not at all. No.
Frankly, it's a little more approachable than a couple of the other ones this evening.
You got a big hit in black licorice.
Yeah. It just smells like anus.
It does. Black licorice, star anise.
Yep.
Nice. Now you're gonna have such a problem with this.
It's practically gin. I mean, just throw some juniper in there.
It is, yeah. It's like so botanical and really.
For me, it's rich, kind of classic Kentucky, but
reminds me of Malort.
Richer than. Oh, that's just.
I've got a Malort story for you guys later on. So
you better apologize. That's all I'm saying. The only thing that's cool about Malort is that they can make fun of themselves. Which is a good company.
What's cool about Malort is sitting at a bar and watching the owner bring out some samples of Malort for some unsuspecting people and letting them try it for the first time, and convincing them that it's really good and they need to try it, and watching their reaction to it. That is freaking awesome.
All right. This smells like a nice Kentucky bourbon.
Yeah. Brown sugar, caramel.
It smells down. If you're pitching a ball, it smells kind of right down the middle, man.
Brown sugar, a little caramel. I'm even getting a little bit of a maple syrup hit on this too.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's. I don't want to sound shitty. Standard bourbon nose, but yeah, I get that maple syrup and the brown sugar. I get that quite a bit. Mr. Buchanan has jumped into the chat.
Oh, hey, how's he doing?
Hello there.
Good to see you again.
Hopefully you've made steel-toed Crocs mandatory in your distillery.
There's a little bit of a smoky char going on the back end of this on the nose too.
I'm already into it. And I'll agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Because there is a nice little smokiness on the back end of it. A nice char to it. Not overpowering, just it's really nice actually.
Again, I get kind of that towards the back end of the palate, a little bit of an orange peel note to it.
And cola. It's almost like a cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
I get kind of the classic notes up front, and then I get what Mike said, where you get that cola note and kind of turns it almost into the cocktail, and then you get a little bit of that char at the end.
Right.
Yeah, it's nice.
For the different array of flavors, it's very well tied together for this evening compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
This feels like an intentional journey with the flavors that happen.
There's a little bit of a floral thing going on in here too, especially coming in on the finish. I get that char, I get a little bit of leather, but then there's like this kind of pretty floral note going on that contrasts those.
Well, it's coming from the yeast master, so
yeah.
Okay, so this is maybe we should or shouldn't do this, but I'll go this or that.
Oh God.
Wilderness Trail or Sam Houston 14. You got to toss one out.
We haven't had them all yet. We haven't had the 4-gate, have we?
No, but would you toss this or
okay?
Sam
We'll just
Houston?
play the game. Okay, Wilderness Trail.
Okay, so then let's go. Let's do a Wilderness Trail or the Smoke Wagon.
Smoke Wagon.
That's interesting.
And you? Are you gonna have a vote? I mean, I know you heard us. You're the fucking tiebreaker, man.
Oh man, he's the judge.
Well,
Yeah,
he has to
I'm
executioner.
the
vote.
judge.
He has to vote a little,
I'm sitting here on my throne.
Yeah, you're, and at that point, you're the tiebreaker, baby. You gotta. Which one did you like better?
I would sit this above Smoke Wagon, the Wilderness Trail above Smoke Wagon, definitely above the Sam Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sam Houston's straight out. But for me, I like the flavor notes. I don't know the profile that I get off the Smoke Wagon over the Wilderness Trail, but it's close. It's close.
I have to do some more head to head on that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe a more direct comparison for me because I've got the uncut, unfiltered.
Right.
That might be a more direct one.
Direct. Yep.
What challenge was accepted? I don't know what's going on, but Tim just accepted a
I think it's
challenge.
a caged ladder match going on at the Alan Bishop farm.
Oh, those are fun. He tried to.
Yeah, Tim, whatever it is, don't challenge Emily. I got a feeling she would fight really dirty by the rules, but very dirty.
Yeah.
I just straight up say she's going to beat your ass. So.
I was trying to be nice.
There's a reason she's the moderator.
Right.
That's
right.
All right.
Have you guys been doing a blend, by the way?
Not right now.
Oh,
I'll make it at the end. I have the glasses out. I just haven't started to blend.
Clearly, I needed to ask because somebody didn't, Patrick.
Does he ever?
Whatever. All right. Four-gate?
I don't know.
All right.
Not right now. I got to fucking blend shit right now. Wait for me.
Well, we got to get into the four-gate, so.
Well,
Right,
this
we'll
would
start
save dessert for last because this is
what that
I
is?
classify this as a dessert whiskey.
And
So this is we're looking at batch 6, their Kelvin collaboration number 2, bottle number 1053 at 63.2% and 126.4 proof. This is a barrel finished Kentucky straight bourbon that's finished in cognac and rum casks.
There we go. I think you just hit it, Ben. Ooh, 63.2. You guys didn't save any, didn't hold back till the end or anything, did you?
Yeah, man. That's a good question, John. Good question.
As long as it takes, John. What the hell? I was trying to put here.
He's got the shakes.
I do. I don't even remember. This is the dump glass. It's not 4. We got to be on. There's at least 5 over there. That means there's 1.
Yeah, we're 5 or 6 in.
I was going to say this is number 7, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we have a total of 7 for the night, 8 including the blend.
Yep, this is number 7.
Yeah.
Yes, we have 7.
Yes, mister. I'm going to send you a picture at 6:45, and which ones you guys want to try?
Hey, you guys
math skills, Patrick. Count them off.
Math is hard.
Rabbit Hole, Smoke Wagon, Four-Gate, Tom's Foolery, Old Dominic, Wilderness Trail, Sam Houston.
One whiskey sample.
Fucking assholes.
All right.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
And I win.
And welcome to the Pat Patrick Show. I think Mike took himself out.
I was about to say, warning for anybody who suffers from epilepsy or anything, please. This is probably going to mess with your eyes, man.
All right, here. This is finished in rum and an Armagnac cast. A little blended back together.
That's right.
Okay.
So Four-Gate's doing some really interesting things. If anybody, people that are keeping up with them, they're sourcing and or they're pulling and blending and doing some of these interesting finishes. There's a premium price for their, for what they're doing, but they're making some interesting things. The few stuff I've had from them so far has been really good. Curious to see what your take on this, but
and that's what I've heard too from a lot of people is that it is expensive, but they're putting out good stuff each time. Like they're hitting a mark where it's like I'm okay with it. You know, like okay, we hit. I mean, maybe I think it's a little high, but I'm really happy with what happened, and consistently doing so, which is it's hard to do at a high level.
Right.
So,
but you've got I don't know, 4-gate barrel. Some of these guys doing some fantastic blending. So
I almost want to know what type of dark rum they were using. Just because of the sugar note in this.
A big sugar note. To me, I mean, this is like a swirl of notes. You get this hit of cognac, you get this hit of bourbon, then you get this hit of sugary rum.
This is what I think is maybe the most complex of the evening.
Right.
There's a lot going on, and where we were saying the Sam Houston was dense. This is dense, but you feel like you can start picking away at it.
Right.
Start really
this is
layers.
Yeah, this is very, very dense. Yeah, I get molasses and caramel, and then I got Mexican vanilla.
I can see that.
Yep.
And leather, but not the kind of leather that Pat's into, but like real leather.
Well, that's the best kind.
Almost like a saddle leather.
Yeah, saddle leather, not the stuff that cleans off easy.
Right. Yeah, that vanilla note's really coming off right now.
Yeah.
It almost smells like an extract. Like if it smells like you're smelling like a cookie when you start. You're baking cookies and you put in like 3 or 4 drops before you mix it in.
I think buried under that too. There's like a peach, like some cooked peaches.
I get a nice chocolate note out of it, like a milk chocolate.
Oh yeah, that's
actually 100%. A very nice milk chocolate, man.
Yeah, I get chocolate covered cherries.
Can you get to the cherries?
Ooh. Curious to see y'all's take on the sip, because
like cinnamon with vanilla.
That is dangerous for the proof point, the way that sips.
I really like that on the palate.
Yeah.
I like the way you closed your eyes when you did that.
Why you got to make it weird?
Next thing, he's about to call you precious.
I like the way you close your eyes.
Yeah, Tim, kind of like that. Hey, let go, get off of there.
But yeah, Emily, I don't think you're far off. The cinnamon with vanilla.
Yep.
Wow.
But I like that the palate. The way it hits reminds me of what as much as I've made comments about Buffalo Trace, I do like Stag Junior. So the palate, it does have that hit, like what I like about Stag Junior, where it's like you're going to have fun and you're going to enjoy this now, and it hits with that intensity, but has all the flavor to back it up, but doesn't keep burning your palate and trying to hurt you. It's got just that wonderful alcohol burn intensity, and then the flavor following it.
Good night.
Wow. It feels like it To me, it feels like it's clearly in the 50, maybe 55% alcohol. Like there's a split, there's a second, like maybe a third of the way in where you can kind of feel the heat coming through.
Mm-hmm.
It dissipates quickly. Um, it's really neat because you do get the bourbon is just this really nice, to me almost like a butterscotch cream note, and then it turns up the heat and really goes into the spiciness on the like the
Hey,
back third. What?
R.I.P. Ned Beatty. By the way,
What?
if you're going to bring up comments like that,
Right.
I don't even know what I
rest
did.
in
Ned Beatty.
Ned Beatty passed away the other day,
Oh, that's true.
and Tim made his comment.
Right.
Does that mean we should be cheersing to him at this moment? I'm feeling like maybe we should.
Hey, why not?
I mean, we're here. Ned Beatty.
Cheers, Ned.
Everyone.
I don't know
Yep.
if you're a whiskey fan or not, but
Cheers.
cheers.
I'm not saying it.
Be sure to sip that with a pretty mouth.
I'll put that in the private chat.
Mm. I don't know. I think that one is definitely the most complex and interesting, but I also feel like it's a little aggressive. Like, I don't know if that's like an all the time whiskey for me.
Right.
Maybe, man, that could just be after 6 other ones. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, this isn't one I like to pull out like just on any random occasion. You know, it's to me it's a mood whiskey. When you want something sweet, you want something big. Goes really good with a cigar. I'll tell you that much. So if you like pairing something with a good cigar, this is a great one to do it with. But
Yeah.
I still, I think if I remember right, this beat out Alan Bishop's Unpretentious, according to Fred Minnick, in that finished whiskey category.
Fuck Fred.
And I don't get it, honestly.
Well,
I mean, sorry. That Unpretentious was freaking phenomenal.
That was my whiskey of the year. You two went with something else.
I know.
But
still with a Bishop whiskey, but
I can see the complexity of this. It's just
right.
I could see why someone who tastes a lot of things that fit into a pie chart would go for this.
Right.
Not knocking Fred, but he seems to be now embracing craft, and as he has said, understanding that. But when you are going at a lot of things that they're not identical, but there's similarities to it, and it's like, well, what makes this one stand out over this one? What makes this, it's anyway. Not knocking him in any way, shape, or form.
Right. No.
And I'm a fan of his Ascot Awards and how he's chosen to do that as opposed to other awards. So,
yeah, that's actually true. So,
not a knock on Fred, just a disagreement there. And how that turned out. So,
could be a flavor.
And he could give a rat's ass what I think, as could so many other people. So,
as do
cares?
I.
It's America.
As do I. No, that's this is a different.
Yeah.
The Unpretentious was right up my flavor profile, especially in that time of year. It was like, this is fucking home. It's interesting, and I can understand why just tasting this, why some of the other stuff people have given it a little high regard if they kept up the same type of quality while doing other experiments.
Yes.
So. A lot of times you can see that off of when you have something that's a really nice release, even if you don't, especially with me, like I openly state, even if I don't like some flavors in it, you can tell what's all happening and what's going on.
Right.
And expect something similar, maybe if they're not doing something that you don't like flavor wise, like maybe at some time they try a single malt or they, just do it. I don't know. Take out anything that has anise in it. Be great.
Or perceived anise.
Or perceived anise, I guess. All right, now
All right.
Four-gate. The four-gate, I think, is gonna fuck up the blend.
You think?
No.
I do.
No.
Mm.
Nope.
I think it will go quietly into the good night.
It is a dense blend.
With some of the big rye hitters here, like the Smoke Wagon and the Old Dominic. Yeah, that is coming really dense on the nose.
Yeah, it is.
Oh no, I'm letting you guys start on this one. Whew.
Dense and sweet. A lot of big sugar, brown sugar notes coming in there.
Get some more water.
Molasses.
I must have poured a different amount.
I had to take a sip to try to figure some of the stuff out because it is dense. I mean, and there's some pretty good proof in here too. I mean, and I'm really having to dig in there to pull things out.
All right. What jumps out to me first, that soapy note that I got off the Tom's Foolery on the palate, that's the first thing that really hits for me. A lot of bitter orange. What?
Yeah.
I was like this in the back, and I'm like, yeah. It smells like this floral, fragrant kind of soap that I might have in the bathroom.
It's the nose. I do get some floral. I get some orange. Now I'm starting to pull this apart, and I get some tobacco going on. All right. What the F is going on here?
I don't know, and I can't keep up.
Pat's talking about his hygiene now and his floral fragrant soaps that he has in his bathroom.
You know, I'm just mean this.
Jeez.
Are they shaped like seashells? Or
Well,
flowers?
there's three of them. You got to know how to use the seashells.
Or are they shaped like bananas?
You shower with a loofah? Or whatever the hell that sponge is called.
No, hey man, you got to know how to use the three seashells. Everyone knows how to use it.
Not in the shower.
You got to figure that out. But no, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
Kevin. Jolie is the go-to for
That's
hygiene
true.
and sanitation tips.
But the nose on this, I mean, it's really heavy brown sugar, vanilla, cherry. I mean, it's
Get the cherry.
I
get a lot of orange. I get some tobacco. I get some real floral notes going on there. It's starting to open up more. The more I'm working with this, pulling a little bit more out. But
That's right, John. You got me. You saw what was going on. For those of you who did not pick up on that. If we do more things like that, I feel like people should.
I'm not crazy
Oh,
about the
God.
finish.
No, Emily, not like soap and cilantro.
Yeah.
That's fucking. I'm not a
I-
cilantro fan either. So
I like the dense nose. I like the palate. I'm not really liking the finish as much as the other two.
it goes really astringent on the finish. I mean, it's like
It's not what I would expect it to be based on everything else. I mean,
Right.
I'm expecting a density and just a niceness to it. And it's just like, psych.
right.
Ugh.
It does. It goes very astringent, very tannic on the
Yeah.
finish for me.
Oh my god!
Pucker.
You okay, Pat?
Fucking
You look like a cat.
You guys are like trying to like cover this up. This is fucking awful. Oh my god! All right, I'll try to take another taste. This was not. You're fibbing yourselves, or maybe my combination of stuff was different. But I did pour all of them in here.
I did. I kept them even as I put them in there. It just, yeah, the finish is weird. It's not. I mean, I was expecting a longer, creamier, richer finish, and yeah, it just takes a turn.
I wonder two things. I wonder how much the oakiness from the Sam Houston is coming into play on that finish, along with even some of the four-gate a little bit, just from all the different barrel combinations that are going there.
There's it's like a soapy waxiness that is not good on the first part of this. It just, oh my god, it just kind of destroys it for me. But afterwards, you get past that and it wears off. The finish is actually pretty pleasant. I can actually feel some of the different flavors from the finishes on the finish. and I'm finding the finish on this is actually not too bad. I'm not a fan of drinking it personally, but I like the. It's like one of those ones where I just got to get it down, and you're like, you know what, that wasn't that bad. It's really nice right now. But we'll see if that.
Okay, if you have to describe it as it's not that bad, then that means it's not that great either. So whiskey's got a great personality.
I don't even know it has a great personality.
Yeah. I mean, nose and palate, I really like. Finish, it's just, the finish just really, it's like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
But I would never do this because don't have the quantities. But imagine taking that same blend though, and finishing it in something, like finishing it in a port barrel or something that would. Though
you're not.
I'm talking about Ben and I's blend, not yours. But putting in something that would maybe, you'd still get the astringency, but you'd add a little something else to it. Maybe it would be another good finish for it. Or actually putting it into something like a toasted barrel to give more vanilla.
Maybe. My thing is, though, it's like, the quality in the barrel, quality out. You're putting something in there like this, and you're trying to hide or cover up or do. I don't know if that's going to work. I think you're still going to get something out really funky and really weird. Mm-hmm. If anything, you maybe are just straight up blend a little port straight into this whiskey, or blend a little sherry or something like that to see how that plays with it. I don't want any more wood influence at all in this, in my opinion.
Jump into the Basil Hayden,
right?
Kind of maybe go over that 3 to 3,
or even Jay Reiger.
Yeah. There's a bit in there when they originally
doing.
came up with the blend that was legally okayed.
Yep.
Legally.
and
just say it, Mike. Just say it.
Just say it. He's like afraid to say it on the screen. But no, I don't like cilantro either. Kevin and Emily are discussing cilantro and the soapy taste.
I like cilantro. Yeah, I'm a fan of cilantro. We use it a lot. So.
Okay, so what's your guys' favorite of the night of these 7 or 8 if you count the blend?
Fuck number 8. That one's.
Okay, 2 questions. Your favorite and what was your surprise?
My favorite, probably the Foregate, honestly, overall. The biggest surprise, I think I was expecting more from the Wilderness Trail, to be honest, than what I got from it. I liked it. I think it's good. I think I was just I had an expectation of getting more from that.
Well, I am going to say that I like the Wilderness Trail probably the best this evening. I can see how you went with the Foregate, the flavor profile and stuff. For me at this point, it was just an overwhelming of the sensations. Maybe if it had been number 1, it would have been a little bit sharper. It might have had a little different ranking, but I liked it. There was a little bit I didn't. I think the Wilderness Trail was a little bit easier, and I'll give you that maybe you were expecting more out of the single barrel.
Yep.
I thought it was pretty friendly for 57.5, and I think I was home with that for this evening. So I'm going with Wilderness Trail. Mike, what do you got?
I would. That was kind of a reason because I was stuck on it. I actually was originally going to name the same whiskey for both, but I'd have to say because with a better palate, the Wilderness Trail I probably enjoyed it the most of the night. Thinking back, but my biggest surprise was Foregate because I wasn't sure I was going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's like, Foregate. And I just wasn't sure, but I did really like that. It's like that is really good whiskey.
Yeah. I put up here, Tim brought up a good point about saponification, bringing out that soapy note from proofing down too quickly. That's
that is one of the when some people talk about craft whiskey, sometimes the bad things come to mind. I think that is one of them.
Right.
And also using kiln dried barrels. I mean, I think those two are hallmarks of what uh, craft whiskey is thought of negatively. Like when you think of
Right.
it, it's like
Oh yeah.
boom boom. Like
Right.
those are first, like almost the first two things. Like if something went wrong with the craft whiskey and you're tasting it, because there's either really good or usually like disturbingly scary. Um,
It's
those
the
two are
shortcuts
yeah.
Right.
trying
Right.
to get stuff
Which
out. But at the same time, I think that was like craft whiskey 10 years ago. And I think for the majority of craft, we've moved well past that. And a lot of people still think of that, may have that in mind from that experience. But most of the craft we've been experiencing is moved well past those mistakes, if you will. I think they're learning
yeah.
and they're moving on.
Well,
I would say
the wait.
I think it's important to say to point out that you said most of what we have had, because there has been some that you're like, what the hell? And
Right.
it is, as we've said, a tourist whiskey, or they're still new trying to figure some stuff out. But
Right.
we've been able to see, it's not like you can't pick up a phone and call somebody, because there are people out there that are doing something at a young age. And we saw that, I'd say at the extreme with Hartfield at a very young age.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, a 6-month-old whiskey that, I did a blind with friends on fishing trip with that. And especially the one who does not like whiskey was going nuts over the Hartfield weeded. And it's like, and then afterwards, like, and it's 6 months old. But that as an extreme of it, and then and we saw it with with Neely too at 22 months. Like, you can do this at a really young age. You can do it. You can also really screw it up, which we've seen with people where they're just like, I got to get whiskey out, and it's fine but not for drinking straight, or if you're just like, it's whiskey. But people should be contacting the people that are doing it right and asking, because most of them will talk to you, is what we found out. They're happy to share their information, because it's not like you're going to sell their whiskey.
Yeah. A lot of people are, you got to find the right people, and they're usually very helpful, and at least giving you like a heads up on one or two things. And even those one or two things can make a dramatic difference.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
All right. Well, let's see here. What else? We have some shows coming up.
Next week's going to be a really good one.
Ooh,
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm going to stretch out. I'm going to get excited now because, fuck yeah, Jason Bronner's on, and he has one of
Jason F. Bronner.
Jason F. Bronner. Well, see, you didn't put that on the damn screen, and now I don't have it here. Jesus. No, I'm just kidding.
I throw the F in there, and we all know what that stands for.
Well, he is in charge of Buzzard's Roost, which is a sipping whiskey that he created, but also he is in charge of Bourbon's Bistro in Louisville, Kentucky. No, Jesus, Lexington, man, I'm not okay.
In
we were
Louisville.
on that trip, and we were
Yes,
we were
in Louisville.
I'm like, we went too many places that weekend. I was lost. But it was one of the better dining experiences when you hear stuff and you kind of hype things up in your brain from seeing pictures and seeing other people eat there. And then when you actually get to eat there, in my experience, rarely does it live up to what the hype is. It was fantastic. The steak I had was perfect. I was going to say everyone had some shrimp and grits. I was going to say Mitch even had some clams that were awesome. Even to the cocktails beforehand with Mike when they were making them there. It is a fantastic stop. And then he has gotten a chance to create some of the whiskeys that we're going to be tasting with him that evening. It's
that's one of them that we're going to be sampling. Yeah. We've got he sent us 3 to sample, and then along with the toasted barrel rye, which is freaking good.
Yep.
We have that one. So stop out for that because it's just it's a great story from someone who really enjoys bourbon and the industry, and it's trying to create experiences, which is what I love. It created an extra level experience by being able to go there because it lived up to the hype, and the food was uh, it wasn't crazy priced. It was actually kind of reasonable for what you got, which sounds stupid, but I'm sorry, you go to a fancy restaurant and then all of a sudden sometimes you think you're gonna get slapped for everything along the way. Like the first thing you have is gonna be like
Yeah.
appetizers, you just dropped $60, and then like the meal is like 50 to 100. I think my steak was 30, and it was one of the better steaks I've had when I was out. Yeah.
Yeah.
in my life.
The bar experience is worth it at Bourbon's Bistro. The food is good. It's a great atmosphere. It's a good location. We had a wonderful time. Jason was a great host. Obviously, really looking forward to talking with him. And anyone who hasn't had Buzzard's Roost, you're going to want to try it after you talk with him about how he's doing it. You're going to want to find it, and I'm sure there will be a path for that to happen. That's going to be a fun show.
And Tim brings up a good point. Yeah, I don't care about fish fries as much, but I mean, there is a good supper club. But no, I would easily lean that way for an evening out. I'd be going to Bourbon's Bistro over a supper club. You do make it tough, though. God damn, Tim. You can tell he's been around to some places, which is what I like.
Tim with the hard hitting questions.
Yes. Yeah. He's going to come on for his own segment.
That's right. You're like Katie Couric.
All right, I'm gonna grab one of these, but I think that's good for this evening. So we got him coming.
That was a good night. And after that, we've got Mr. Stumpf.
That's right. I do have that one. I have that one on here.
Yeah.
Adam will be coming on. And you guys got excited. I didn't get to see that whole episode. So what was the one that got you to? I heard like rye of the year, whiskey of the year. What was the talk? I heard some rumors. What happened that night?
Oh, it was a single barrel pick that Kevin had sent us. That was pretty freaking delicious.
Yep.
Okay.
And that whole St. Louis night, they were all everything was really good.
It was.
Not to take anything away from Still 630, which I'm gonna get a hold of Dave. Those were really good whiskeys, and that's bottled and bond sorghum. That was fun. That was a fun whiskey. And standard Stumpies, that was great. Those two singles, those one-offs that Kevin sent. Yeah, that rye. That was something else.
That rye, yeah, man.
Okay, so we'll be talking.
Good stuff.
Yeah, we'll be talking to Adam and about his story. Because it's a fun story. I like that. To do a lot of work themselves. And they got a new still they've been working on that I've been keeping an eye on.
A new old still.
A new old still.
Like 190-year-old or 100-year-old still. Yeah.
But busting ass on getting it together. Yeah. So it's
pretty
that will
sweet.
Be something to see once it all gets done and cleaned up and everything. It's going to be neat. I think what else do we have? Anyone else after that? Or is it
let's see.
Wait. I got a little rumor.
Yeah, into August, we've got, I know. Oh, Brian Cushing on the 5th, talking about Victorian cocktails.
Yes, that's right.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
And
that's going to be really fun. I'm really hoping that people we find out the cocktails ahead of time, because I think that's going to.
Right.
I think people will get into that.
Fantastic. If you haven't got a chance to go over there, he's creating stuff from the Victorian area.
The Victorian Bar Room.
Yep. Catch his show on YouTube. It's a fantastic. He's just got it started. It's some great episodes already.
Yeah, for starting out, compared to what other people do in their first couple episodes, it shows he's very solid looking for episode 1 and 2 as far as coming out. So I was going to say it's awesome.
He's very authentic, and he's going to give you a lot of great history and background on it. And the cocktails are fantastic. I've made both of them already: the Martini 1888 and the Mississippi Punch, and they've both been damn good. So,
okay, we got that, and then On this is just finished kind of making this up here. I haven't even got a flyer or anything put up yet. But on July 30th, I think it's a Friday night at 6:00.
Oh God, not a Friday.
What? It's a Friday. Friday nights are cocktail nights, baby. And what we're gonna have is Fred Swanson's gonna come back on the show, and we are gonna be talking cocktails with the Limousine Rye and the Death Door Gin, and it's gonna give everyone out there a chance to get a hold of it if you want to. You'll be able to get a 100 milliliter sample of each to recreate some of the cocktails we'll be having that evening and drink along with us.
Right.
So I'll have more information about that coming up. We just kind of finished that up here in the last day or two. So I wanted everyone to know about that tonight because you guys should definitely be joining us for that evening. It'll be a hell of a lot of fun. And then I think later on, maybe even a month later or so, I'm going to talk with Heather Manley. We're going to be doing the other sample set that she has, just because, I mean, getting a chance to sample 5 different spirits in the evening and make a couple cocktails is, hell, that's right up my alley. I think that's a perfect evening. So we'll be working on that as well, too.
Bluegrass should be back with us in July at some point.
Yep.
We got to book the date with them, but they just had kind of a crisis today. Couldn't get on with us, and we'll be having them back on in July. They have a really interesting blue corn bourbon that you're going to want to hear about. Great small craft distillery in Lexington.
And who else did we just book today?
Today we've got John Waddell with Peerless.
Oh, that's right.
Kentucky Peerless. And he's also got a coffee bean company that he's starting up. That's going to be really fun, really interesting to hear about. And we have Marianne Eves coming on in August as well.
I was going to say, and some of the stuff with John, that whole coffee bean thing is really exciting. If not right away, we're hoping to be able to get some and maybe have maybe a Sunday morning coffee review or some version of something like that, where we get to taste a couple of these as they go on, because it's going to be really neat.
Word I have is they should start having the beans and everything ready in about a month's time. So I'm looking forward to getting those. I usually like to have a coffee right before we do the show, and you'll be hearing me sample and talk about that a lot. So
yeah, I was going to say so. Some exciting stuff coming up, and we'll also just have maybe a couple more review nights like this. Knock out another 7 or 8 whiskeys, because hey man, I'm sorry, but we need to do it. Even if I slur at the end of the damn thing, that's just the way it is. We have to get through some more of the reviews. If they just
pace yourself.
No, I don't feel like that. If we were doing that, we wouldn't even be done with like number 3 on the review, and we're done with 7. So sometimes you just gotta power through. You gotta finish the show strong.
Right.
And speaking of that nature, let's all grab a drink. Thank you, everyone.
Another drink.
Because James Breacher's in the audience, and we're gonna cheers him for being the mule of the month.
Mule of the month, and
it might be the mule of the year.
Well, he could be up for mule of the year. It very well could be. So,
James, I'm going to make sure that one of yours is covered.
Yeah, we're talking about.
I mean, unless it's a grand, but
yeah. As long as it's within reason.
I have limits to my love.
He says that, but the credit card comes out. So, all right, wait, what the hell is going on? Add more. What was it?
I think we were saying goodbye.
Yeah, I think we're gonna say goodbye. I need to add more bacon. Yeah. You're damn right, Emily. I need to level myself off.
That's right.
And on that note, remember this evening there are 2 other places you can call. One, as always, Matt, Will, and Sarah at Whiskey Crusaders. Go on over there. They probably should have started 40 minutes ago. And also the Hood Sommelier, our friend over there. Check him out. He usually does a show Mondays Suck. starting
Great
in about
show.
20 minutes or so. So go check both of them out, and we'll see you guys next week when we have Jason on. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.